All right then. I'm going to read you a little something here. The print is extremely small. It's against my pride to wear spectacles. I keep putting off that fatal day where you go to the optician and the optician says, blah, 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 blah. But these are, you know, the ones you buy in Whole Foods. You're very kind. Thank you. Now, this morning when I was doing my own spiritual practice, the book that I reached for had this little book in it. And it's a phenomenal book. It's called Help Yourself by Edith Armstrong, written a long time ago. And I love those books that are written a long time ago. And it's 50 cents, it says in here. And it's stunning how they remind us that everybody is saying the same thing. Everybody who writes these kinds of books, they're all saying the same thing. But they're saying it in their own unique way. And we are here today to know something more about ourselves and about life and how it works. And so the page that I opened, I mean, there are so many great bits and pieces in here, which over time I will share with you, really, really rang true for me. So the first page that I opened in this is 66, 33 twice over. And the heading is, "The world of my experience proclaims the world of my thought." Now you know that, and I know that. And it's as scary every time I hear it as it was in the beginning. The world of my experience proclaims the world of my thought. You see, you can't hide anything. And so it starts. No matter how much good surrounds us, unless we claim it as our own, it does not manifest for us. Unless we claim it as our own. Well, when you look out there and you see all the good that's out in the world, do you claim it as your own? Do you own it as your own? And I mean that really a serious question. Do you claim the good as your own, which means it's already available to you? Already available to you. I have to put the glasses here because you're all blurry when I have them on fully, and they're not that strong. I mean, the first degree, 125, whatever it is. So, do we all get that? We all understand that? Did it push any buttons? This is likewise true of the undesirable things of life. Unless we claim them through recognition and acceptance and associate them in some way with ourselves, they can never become our experiences. Shall I read that again? Yes. God knows we need to hear it so that we can get it eventually. This is likewise true of the undesirable things of life, unless we claim them through recognition and acceptance. Now, that recognition and acceptance may be unconscious, but nevertheless powerful. And associate them in some way with ourselves. They never become our own experiences. Unless you do that, they won't become your own experience. So no matter how awful the news you might hear, where is your mind going to go? Is your mind going to say, oh my gosh, this is so horrible, this is awful, to tell me I have this, that, or the other? Or can you do like the great practitioner of long ago, who used to say in response to anything negative for herself or anybody else, "'Tain't so. 'Tain't so." Just because somebody says that doesn't mean it is so. I have to decide whether it's so or not. And if I don't give my mind to it, if I don't give my emotion to it, it cannot take root. Eternal watchfulness is necessary because we may not always realize just what we are agreeing to when we permit negative suggestions to register in our consciousness. We may not know what we are agreeing to when we allow negative suggestions to register in our consciousness. Oh my goodness, have you got a lot of work to do? Yes, you have. Have I got a lot of work to do? Yes, I have. Think about all the awfulizing you're privy to that you hear. Oh, did you hear about so-and-so? Just been diagnosed with such and such. Where do you go? Oh, the poor individual. So sorry to hear that. You can say, doesn't have to be so. Nothing good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. So the whole idea is to be neutral in the face of negativity. Take whatever steps and measures we need to take, but to be neutral in our ultimate decision about it. Well, this is interesting. Let's see now what can be done about this. Every time you get the thud in the solar plexus, the kick in the solar plexus, every time you stop breathing when you hear something like that, this is agreement. This is agreement. Nothing can happen without our agreement. Nothing can happen without our agreement. There is nothing in my mind. There is nothing in my world. There is nothing in my experience but the presence and activity of God. That's how you counteract it. This can't possibly be so because right where I am, God is, and where God is, all is well. Whatever it is, it's temporary. Because I'm in the presence and the presence is in me. And only that which is truth can be in the presence. So if you decide otherwise, you're on your own. So am I. I consciously direct my thought to the realization of that presence and see it manifesting in every phase of my existence. In the face of negative information, I concentrate myself in the presence, is what the book is saying. I take the truth to the lie. I take the truth to the lie. In my inner world, there is always tranquility of mind, health of body, and an orderly adjustment of personal affairs. That's what we tell ourselves because it's the truth. However, if you have been a worrywart forever, it's going to take a little bit of time to turn that around. And that's why we're told, lie, lie, lie until the lie becomes the truth. It's the only time you get to lie. You hear bad news. You say, no. The truth is such and such. Even though you're a heap of emotional God knows what. You keep doing it until your emotions calm down. You keep doing it until your mind eases up. We have this ability, but we don't use it. We'll agree to it here in the sanctuary, and we'll say yes, and so on and so forth. As soon as we go out through the doors and the world hits you, you forget all about it. You go back into worry mode. Or you go back out into the world and you say, oh God, I hope that's so. You have to know it. Like Dr. Bitzer used to do. You have to know it. Beyond the shadow of a doubt, you have to know it. Until you begin to feel it. And when you begin to feel it, your whole disposition changes. Your whole disposition changes. And you let the worry go away. And you tell yourself, this has been tested over millennium and has found to be the truth that sets us free. What I know happens. What I feel happens. Regardless of what it may be described as true or false. If I know it, if I know it, if I know it, I will feel it, experience it in some way. And knowing is subtle. Watch yourselves. Do an emotional sweep over yourself every day and a mental sweep over yourself every day. Make sure you're knowing what you need to know in order to fulfill your purpose on this plane, to come into it, to make a difference, to leave it the better off. Everybody came in here at choice. So I'll read that bit again. I consciously direct my thought to the realization of that presence that is within me and see it manifesting in every phase of my existence. In my inner world, there is always, there is always that which can set me free if I connect with it. And it causes great tranquility of mind, health of body, and an orderly adjustment of personal affairs. Now, isn't that all any one of us want? I don't think we want anything more than that. Tranquility of mind, health of body, and an orderly adjustment of personal affairs. And everybody deserves that. Everybody deserves peace of mind, health of body, and divine order in their affairs. I now center my attention upon the things that are of the truth. These things that are of the truth, and prepare the way for them to manifest in my outer world. God help us all. Our work is cut out for us. Our minds are so loaded, overloaded, stuffed, chock-block with all kinds of nonsense. Minds have to be cleaned out and cleared out. So you say, come, Spirit, Lord, God, Mother, Law of Life. I can't do this. But you come and realize it through me. Come and realize the truth through me that sets me free. And when you do that, you'll get a confidence in yourself. You'll realize, I don't have to do this on my own. It's impossible for me to do this on my own. But I have a very real and present help. Spirit itself ready to make the way straight before me, to go before me and prepare the way. But I have to call upon that presence. Trust that presence. Every thought that is allowed to remain in my mind becomes a part of my experience. Lingering thoughts create experiences. And has a direct result upon my entire life. Who knew that thing that upset you last year and still runs in and out of your mind is having a negative effect on you still? That's why we say, be here now. Don't go backwards. Don't go backwards and dig up old wounds. Let them really heal. Don't let the past possess you, have power over you. And also rob you of your present time, rob you of a better future time because of the past. Why would we do that? We who are the highest aspect of intelligence on this planet, why would we do that? It's a conundrum. Regardless of the nature of the thought or the motive that may have prompted it, I shall reap somewhere in my life that which I sow in the field of consciousness. Seeds that you've long since forgotten about may pop up under your nose right now. Now, when that happens, just say, oops, I know what that is. I better do some weeding. Instead of getting all perturbed, handle it. Handle it, because you can. And let Spirit be the digger-upper of those deep roots. What a glorious experience of life we all could have if it were not for the ruminations of the mind and its traveling down dark passages from the past. Why are we going to continue to let the past hold us to ransom? Some person, place, or thing. Why would we do that? It's a conundrum, isn't it? So for a personal kind of application to what we know, how are we going to use what we know? How are we going to use the truth that sets us free? And it says here, I strive always to remember that I am God's child and that my life is unfolding in orderly development. Especially in chaos, you tell yourself that. Regardless of what everything appears to be, the truth is, I am the offspring of the infinite divine. And as such, I can overcome anything. Anything. I am unmoved by negative appearances, therefore, negative appearances move. I am unmoved by negative appearances, therefore, negative appearances move. Isn't that nifty? When I read that, I went, hallelujah. One little sentence tells it all. When I remove myself from negative experiences must disappear. You can't fake it, though. I accept my blessings, home, health, happiness, love, success, and all that represents a full and complete expression of life for me. And I am grateful for every evidence of good that comes to me. This is the truth. It always has been the truth. It always will be the truth. Which is why you hear us say all the time, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Yes, I can go and get great spiritual mind treatments, but I have to come into absolute agreement with them and believe them. I have to live as though everything has been taken care of. It's done. And when that little pain or that little ache or that little whatever appears, you say, takes the body a while to catch up with the mind, but it's been handled. Any questions? Because I know we're getting close to our time together being done. Should you have a question when we are in Wednesday morning class and you don't want to let it go because you might forget about it, just raise your hand and ask the question quickly. Do you know what I mean? So that you can get the answer you want. I think we've been so used to being masked that we forget we have a mouth. But trust yourself. The whole thing about today is trust yourself. Trust the power and the presence of spirit within yourself. Even when it's the last thing you feel like doing. And we all know what that's like. Trust the moreness in yourself. The inner truth within yourself. And it is that inner truth that sets free. Do you think we can do that? Well, listen, here's how to start. Every single day of your life, tune in to this. What we've shared here today. Just tune into it. and then see where you have to erase and replace. Can you do that? Yes. There always has to be follow-up action. Always. I think you're all brilliant myself, well capable of this. It's all going to depend upon how much trust and belief you have in yourself. Can I really believe this? What if it's not true? Well, what if it is true? What have you got to lose? That's right. Not a thing. But you have so much to gain, my dear ones. You're all amazing. You really are amazing when you think about it. If you stand back from your own life and think about your life and all the things you've overcome already, it's quite amazing. But not surprising, because that's how you're equipped. The problem is that we all lack faith in ourself, our human self. And because we lack faith in our human self, we can't see the true self of ourselves. That's why everybody frightens us and scares us and threatens us and, God knows what not. Because we think we're not enough. As long as you think you're not enough, you're always going to be threatened in some way or another. As long as you think you're not enough in and of yourself, you will be threatened, and you will be defensive, and you will be combative. Do you understand that? So start loving yourself more, appreciating yourself more, trusting yourself more, being delighted with yourself. Because all of us see what we don't have. We don't see what we do have. We see how we have not succeeded. We never see how we have succeeded. We're the glass half emptying people. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you woke up one day and you knew, I have accomplished so much in my life to date. My glass is always filling. I can trust that that's the truth. Nobody need scare me. Nobody need threaten me. Nobody can take anything from me that is mine. No one. So I'm going to be in my own corner. And guess what? When you're in your own corner, you find yourself cheerleading for everyone. Because you want good for everyone. And so the next time somebody speaks ill of you, the next time somebody, speaks unkindly and so on, you just say to yourself, I'm glad I know who I am. I'm glad I know what I am. I bless these people. They're only lashing out because they are so insecure within themselves. That's the truth.